Hey YouTube, Jason here with Day Trading Fearless. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. Make sure you guys hit the like button and also subscribe to my channel. Very much appreciated. As always, let's jump right into it. So this is the weekly watch list, or the mid-weekly watch list, or midweek weekly watch list for April 14th, 2021. Okay, if you guys watched my video on Saturday, you would have seen that I was actually calling for an up market for the first part of the week, and then I think we're going to roll over. Well, I'm going to give you a quick update on if I think we're actually still going to roll over or what's going to happen from here. But real quick, I just want to kind of go over on Friday or Saturday's video, I gave you guys my weekly trade zones that I offer on my website, daytradingfearless.com. It's $50 for a lifetime subscription. And I gave you actually this week's trade zones. And I just want to show you real quick. This was Sunday. We're looking at a 5-day, 5-minute chart. So this is where we opened on Sunday. Kind of rallied, and then on Monday afternoon we went right to the trade zone, and then we pulled back. We had about an 11-point pullback. From that, as you could see, we hit directly in the trade zone. So anywhere within this zone is where you want to look for a short. That's the way the trade zones work, right? And maybe give it a little room on the backside if we breach it too much. Okay, the trade's not going to work, more than likely move forward. But this was about 11-point move from this spike up to this low right here. If you trade the S&P EMA futures, that's about $50 a point. So about 10 points would have been about $500. Even if you took 5 points, 3 points, okay? Let's say you took 3 points off this move real quick. That was $150. The 50 would have paid for your entire lifetime subscription. So make sure you check that out at daytradingfearless.com. That is my weekly trade zones for the S&P EMA futures. I just want to give a quick update because I know I showed you guys all on Saturday's video of the weekly watch list, and I just want to kind of do a quick update. So, but going back to the overall market, okay, I said that we were going to probably rally in the first part of the week, and then probably Wednesday look to potentially reverse. And we may be getting that potential reversal here. What I would be looking for is this 41, we'll say 13 level on the S&P futures. If we breach that anytime, and this is a extended trading hours chart, if we breach it any time, I think after this, if you think about this was a bullish bullish engulfment where we took out the low, then took out the high, had a little follow through, but then kind of failed, closed near the lows a little bit. We're opening. If we roll over, I would say my first target to the downside, if we break 4113 level, would be this upper trend line, which is 4,000. And then if we fail that trend line, I would be looking probably right at this low volume node right here of 3985. Now, also the 4,000 level, just because it's a whole number and all that too. But be careful with this market. I think it's really hard to get long and stay long. I get it, we're climbing a wall of worry. But with all that being said, I personally don't like this market. I'm really not buying anything to the long side because I don't see any really good trade setups. And I think we could lose a quick 100 points in this market very easily. So that's what's going on with that. So I'm going to say going into the end of this week, look for a pullback. in the overall market. Now we could see on SPY just the daily candles, right? We actually have a bearish engulfment. Now remember, the ESs that we were just looking at is an extended trading hours, right? But when we start and we actually look at the SPY, they're just regular trading hours. And that's why I like to look at both of them, because I get to see a different picture. It's almost like me saying, hey, let me just turn off and look at the regular trading hours on the S&P futures, and it's essentially the same thing. And here we actually have a bearish engulfment at the highs. So again, I'm expecting a follow through to the downside, okay, from the regular trading session to come back down. On here, I'd probably be looking at 407 on SPY, my first level. My second level would be definitely a fill this gap, 450 on SPY. And remember, we do have very weak market structure going on to the downside. So that's what's going on there. Let's take a look at crude oil, and don't worry, I will be talking about Coinbase IPO coming up very shortly. So and how much of an epic failure I believe it was. So bear flag, right, kind of went sideways, and now we held the 50, and then today we saw a break to the upside. So this bear flag is no longer valid. Okay, so no more bear flag. Essentially, I actually wonder if we kind of pull back, even though we had move up, maybe a little higher move up to 65 and then a pullback, because if the market pulls back, chances are crude oil will pull back too. So maybe we just retrace this candle 2 days. So slash BTC. Okay, Bitcoin breakout. Bullish, or our inverse, or sorry, our head and shoulders no longer was valid because we took out the high. So let's erase all this. And now, if anything, do we have a rising wedge going on here? That's what I'm actually looking for. And again, if Bitcoin fails, you still have massive divergence. Guys, I know it's hard to play these divergences and all that, but when you start to really understand, when they work, they will work very good and very swiftly. So I would not expect, maybe this was the high. We might be looking back in a couple months and say, hey, this was the highs of the market, because let's take a look at what you all came here for, Coinbase. Ooh. Ugly chart. Oh, wait, where is everything? Yeah, it's the first day. So let's come over here. Let's go to Coin and let's pull up a 5-minute chart on Coinbase, right? So we opened at 381, ran all the way up to about 429 and change, and then failed. Sell, 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 sell. Billionaires taken all their profits, right? All the early investors and all that. Everybody who got caught buying in this first move, who are like, this thing's going to 500, hold on for dear life, traders, the hodls, all those, yeah, they're all burned. Listen, this is why I think today's IPO on Coinbase was an epic failure on so many levels. First level is I think they overvalued it. Okay, this company is worth $100 billion just because they had one good quarter where they made a ton of money. Well, remember what Bitcoin did during that first quarter, right? If we come over here and we go to slash BTC, look at all this buying just from the start of the year. Right? Look at, I mean, that's a ton of buying and selling. It's not like we had all that back here, right? So I think this is I think the company's worth about 40 billion personally. I think the 250 number they came out is where I would actually look to be a buyer. But I think just this price action was horrible for their listing of the IPO. I think it was way overvalued. I think a lot of people are getting burned. And I always say the markets will go lower when the markets to be want the market to go lower. And a lot of times when you look back in history, you always tend to find times, big moves, something happens and it's kind of like a news event, a big IPO, something like that, and you'll see the market pull back. I think this is it. I think Bitcoin, looking at the chart with the divergence, all-time highs, that chart looks bearish to me, okay? Because I think if we could take out these lows of 61,000, I think our next stop will be back down to 52,000, which would probably hurt Coinbase, and it'll also hurt the overall market. But I think there was so much hype around it, you had to turn off the news and just say, hey, are they going to be able to make as much money, Coinbase, that they've been making in the last 3 or 4 months? Consistent for years to come? I don't believe so. I think everybody's just so caught up in the fear of missing out, FOMO, right? I think a lot of people are kind of getting burned on this trade, and I am definitely not going to be one of those people. But again, I would watch Bitcoin and Coinbase, kind of have them chart by chart, side by side for a while to see if they trade in tandem or if one diverges from the other. But I think Coinbase was an epic failure of an IPO, personally. Now, doesn't mean we can't be back up here 400 tomorrow. I just don't like when an IPO like this opens, goes up, and then reverses and sells off almost 120 points. Okay, from high to low. You're talking a 25% move to the downside. Most IPOs open and they're up 50%, 20%, whatever. This is down 25%. Very rare do you see that. And it's kind of the market telling you, be careful. But I do like Coinbase in the mid 2 range, 250. None of this is trade advice. I'm just some dude on YouTube. But if it gets there, I will look to be a buyer. I will do a bigger update on Coinbase. It'll probably be something on my watch list for a while that I talk about every weekend. If you are new and this is your first time watching the midweek video, I do a weekly watch list every week at Saturday, 9 a.m. Pacific time. I live in Las Vegas, so Vegas time. But I hope that helps, guys. As always, thank you for watching. Sorry for the rant. Sorry for going on so much. But also make sure you check out my website, daytradingfearless.com, for the weekly trade zones. Trade zones, only $50 for a lifetime subscription, guys. I've been doing them for about 6 years, consistent now. And as always, thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.